Don't forget to like and subscribe to Jolie Knots Crochet. Share with your friends. Hit that little notification bell so you can get notified when new patterns release. All our videos are available in left and right-handed tutorials.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Jolie Knots Crochet. Today we are going to be making a plant hanger. This is a Charlotte's Web plant hanger. That's what we're going to call it because it kind of looks like a spider web. This plant hanger is going to come in two sizes, one for approximately a 5 to 6 inch pot and one for approximately a 7 to 9 inch pot, right around there. So you can just try out your plants and see what fits in it. Now there are a few different yarn options to be able to use. You can use a jute twine if you have that in approximately like a 1.2 or 1.5 millimeter. I also made one double-stranded with sugar wheel cotton, this little mini yarn bee that I got from Hobby Lobby, double-stranded, okay? Now these little things come in 50 grams, 117 yards, and I was able to make 2 of them out of 2 little balls. So you could pull from one end and the other to make one as well. Now, this is a 3-weight cotton. So it is, if you know your plant is going to be heavy, I would even recommend using triple stranded, 3 strands of yarn. I also made one double stranded in this 4-weight yarn, which is also a yarn bee. It's a little dollop in Mint Mellow. This has 92 yards and I was just shy of 2 whole ones with 1 full skein. Now this is a 55% acrylic and a 45% cotton, but it is much thicker, so it doesn't have the stretch so much. I am using a 5 millimeter crochet hook. So you have both of these options, the jute twine, and then the other option I have here, this is a cotton macrame. Okay, so this is for macrame. It's a 4-weight, but it's like a tubular spun, so it's really, really strong, and it is a lot thicker than a regular 4-weight yarn. This one I purchased from Ice Yarns, and I will leave the description. I'll leave the information in the description box below. This is, let's see, this is about 330 yards in this skein, so I've been able to make several different ones. And it is a 100% cotton yarn. Okay, I got that from Ice Yarns. Now with all of them, you are going to be using a 5 millimeter hook. Your gauge is not going to be so important. All you really want to make sure is that your first round one should be about 2.5 inches. If your gauge is not exact, you can always adjust your hook size or even just go with a smaller pot. It's not that big a deal. So I'm going to start mine out double-stranded, and I'm just going to work from the outer side and the inside. Let's see if I can pull out some yarn from here without having a big old yarn barf. Stick my finger right in there. Try to find the middle. And ideally, I won't be pulling out too much. All right, that's not too bad. I'm going to be using both anyways. There we go. Okay, so double-stranded, and we are going to get started with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 12. The link for this pattern will be in the description box below. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, under Jolie Knots Crochet. I also have a Jolie Knots Crochet community on Facebook. You can join and show us what you've created. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now I am going to slip stitch to my first chain to join. We are starting from the bottom up on this. So this that we're working on is the bottom. I'm going to work over my tails because it's not going to be really important to weave it in. So now for round 1, you're going to chain 2. Remember that this is not counting as a stitch here and throughout. You're beginning chain 2. And we're going to place 24 double crochets into our ring. All right, that should be 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. Perfect. Now you're going to slip stitch to your first double crochet to join. Now we're not turning in any rounds here. For round 2, we are going to chain 2. Doesn't count as a stitch, remember. And now we're going to place 2 double crochets into the first stitch. What we're doing right now is for both sizes. Both sizes are going to act exactly the same. And I will explain to you the smaller size for the 5 to 6 inch pots, what the difference is for the larger one, okay? Now we're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 2 double crochets into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way to the beginning. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 2 double crochets into the next. Go ahead and work that out, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, so I have just finished my last 2 double crochets. You should still have 24 double crochets, but now you also have 12 chain spaces between those. Now to join here, because we want to set ourselves up to work into our chain space, I'm going to single crochet to join, and that's just replacing my 1 chain space. Okay, so round 3. If you are working the small size, you're going to skip rounds 3 and 4, and you're going to go straight to round 5. All right, so if you're working the small, go ahead and fast forward to round 5. If you're working the large size for the 7 to 9 inch pot, you're going to be working this round 3 and 4. So chain 2, and now we're going to place 2 double crochets over this single crochet join. 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double crochets into our next chain space, and that's your repeat. Chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next chain space. Repeat that to the beginning, and I will meet you back to close it up and get started on round 4. Okay, we've gotten to our last chain 2 space. Your work might be curling a bit, and that's totally fine because it's just going to be pulled out since this is the bottom and there's going to be weight on it. Now to replace our chain 2 space to join, we're going to be doing a half double crochet. Half double crochet to your double crochet to join, and now this is replacing our chain 2 space, and also setting us up to work into this stitch. So for round 4, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to single crochet over that half double crochet join. Now you're going to chain 5. Single crochet into your next chain space. That's your repeat. Chain 5, single crochet into your chain space, repeat that all the way to the beginning, and I will meet you back for round 5, which the small and the large size will both be working. Okay, here we are at our last chain space. I have my last single crochet, and what I'm going to do to join this round is chain 2 and then double crochet to my single crochet to join. And again, that's replacing my chain 5 space, and it sets me up to work right into the chain space, okay? Getting started on round 5. Now, it's a little bit different for the large size and the small size, but I'm going to explain. So chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Both sizes, of course, are going to chain 2, and we are going to place 3 double crochets over the join. Now, the large size is going to chain 3. The small size is going to chain 2. So I'm making the large, so I'm going to chain 3. And now I'm going to place 3 double crochets into my next chain space. Now, if you're working that small size and you skipped these 2 rounds, 3 and 4, you're placing your 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space down here. The large size is going into the chain 5 space. So 3 double crochets. And chain 3. Small size, you're chaining 2, remember? Now go ahead and repeat that. 3 double crochets into your next chain space. Large size chains 3, small size chains 2. I'll meet you back at the beginning to get started on the next round. Okay, I've just finished my last 3 double crochets into my chain space. Large size is going to double crochet into your first double crochet to join. Small size is half double crocheting because you had chain 2s, your space is going to be smaller. Now for round 6, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to place 3 double crochets over the join. From there, we're going to skip right into the next stitch. We're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 3, small size will be chaining 2, large size chain 3, small size chain 2. And now we're going to place 3 more double crochets into the same chain space. So you should have 6 double crochets and a chain 3 or a chain 2. Now we're going to repeat this 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets into each chain space. Small, you're doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in each chain space. And when we get back to the beginning, we'll finish our last double crochets in the same space we started. So go ahead and finish this out to the end of the round and I will meet you back to join. Okay, so now that you have finished your last chain space and you're right back to the beginning, we're going to end this row by adding 3 double crochets into that same chain space. And our joining is going to be just like it was in the other rounds. The large size will double crochet to the first double crochet to join, and the small size will half double crochet. Getting started on round 7. Round 7, we're going to chain 1. That does not count as a stitch. Now we're going to single crochet over the join. Chain 6. Small size will chain 5. We're going to single crochet over that same join. And now we're going to chain 6 again. Small size will chain 5. So we're chaining 5 or chaining 6. Large is 6, small is 5. Single crochet into your next chain space. Chain 6 or 5. Single crochet into the same chain space. And that's what you're going to repeat, okay? You're going to chain 5 or 6, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 5 or 6, single crochet into the same chain space, and then repeat that, 5 or 6 into the next, 5 or 6, single crochet into the same. Go ahead and work that out, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I have just finished my last chain space, and now I need to join my round. Now, to join your round, you are going to, the large size is going to chain 3, and the small size is going to chain 2, and then you're going to double crochet to your first single crochet. So I'm chaining 3 because I'm doing a large. You're chaining 2 if you're doing a small, and both sizes are going to double crochet to the first stitch to join. And again, that is setting us up to work into our chain space. Now getting started on round 8. Round 8, you are going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the, like over your join. Now I'm going to chain 4, and the small size is going to chain 3. Chain 4, single crochet into our next chain space. Chain 4, small size, chain 3, single crochet into your next chain space. And that's all you're going to repeat. You're either chaining 4 or chaining 3. And single crocheting into the next chain space. Go ahead and work that out, and I will meet you back for the next round. Once you finish your last single crochet, we're going to chain 1 and double crochet to our first double crochet to join. If you are doing the small size, you're going to half double crochet to join. And now the large size is going to repeat round 8, and the small size is going to skip round 8, and you're going to, skip round 9, and then you're going to go straight to round 10. So you can just fast forward to round 10, or you can watch. Again, large size is repeating round 8. So we're chaining 1, single crocheting over our join, chaining 4, single crocheting into our next chain space, chain 4 again, single crochet into your next chain space. Go ahead and finish that out, and then I will meet both sizes back for round 10. Okay, now that we have single crocheted into our last space, finishing out round 9, Remember, we are going to chain 1 and double crochet to our first single crochet to join. Now, round 10 is going to be for both rounds. There's not going to be any difference in this round for the size. No big deal, okay? Chain 1, single crochet over your join, chain 2, single crochet into your next chain space, chain 2, single crochet into the next chain space. Now we're going to chain 3 and we're going to double crochet into the next chain space. Now we're going to chain 4 and double crochet into the next chain space. Now we are going to chain 7. So you should have single crochet, chain 2 single crochet, chain 2 single crochet, chain 3 double crochet, chain 4 double crochet, and now we're going to chain 7. And double crochet into our next chain space. Now from here, we're basically going to mirror. Now from here, we're basically going to mirror the other side. So we're going to chain 4, double crochet into our next chain space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 2, and single crochet into your next chain space, chain 2, single crochet into your next chain space, chain 2, single crochet into your next chain space. So in between your chain 7, you should have 2 double crochets, 4 single crochets, and then we're going to work those 2 more double crochets, then our chain 7. So we're chaining 3. After our 4th single crochet here, we're going to chain 3, double crochet into our next chain space, chain 4, double crochet into our next chain space. And now we're going to start that right over again. So we're chaining 7, double crocheting into our next chain space, chain 4, double crocheting into our next chain space, chain 3, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Remember, we need 4 single crochets, chain 2, single crochet, that's the 3rd, chain 2, single crochet, that's the 4th. Now we're going to chain 3 and double crochet into the next space. Now we'll chain 4, double crochet into the next space again, and here's our chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we will double crochet into the next space. Now we're just going to finish out the rest of this round by chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, chain 4, double crochet. Chain 3, single crochet. Now this is your last chain space here. So all we're going to do now is chain 2 and then slip stitch to our first single crochet to join. And that's it. That's what we've completed it now. So we'll get that really tight. Let's get some scissors. We'll get some scissors and cut your yarn. You can go ahead and weave in your ends. And now we're gonna make our hanging cord. So this is the front of your work. It should look like a little basket. Okay, when there's weight in it, it's gonna all straighten out and look like the photos that you saw in the beginning. You should have 3 chain 7 spaces. Into each of these chain spaces, we're gonna attach yarn and we're gonna make a Romanian cord. So I'm gonna teach you how to make the Romanian cord. And you can, this is really customizable as far as the length that you want and how low you want it to hang. But we're gonna make 80 rows of a Romanian cord, which is approximately 18 inches. Now, if you want yours to be longer or shorter, you're just gonna do more, okay? Okay, so now that we have finished out the actual part of the plant hanger, we are going to make Romanian cords to put at each of our chain 7 spaces. So there are going to be 3 straps to this. And of course you can adjust the length of the cord depending on where exactly you are going to be hanging your project. So first we're gonna go ahead and create a slip knot. Go into your chain 7 space and single crochet. And now what we're going to do is turn our work. Now you're going to turn the work so that the yarn is coming from the back of your work and not from the front. You don't want to be working like this around your yarn. So turn your work so that it's coming from the back. And now into your single crochet, you are going to make another single crochet. We are not chaining 1 in between. And now you're going to turn your work again. And place another single crochet right into the single crochet that you just made. Really simple. It's just single crochets stacked right on top of each other. Constantly making sure that your yarn is coming from the back of your work. And you're going to do this approximately 80 times, which should be about 18 inches in length. Or if you need your hanger to hang lower, maybe shorter, then you could adjust the length that you want it to be at. So I am just going to go ahead and continue working this until I have all 3 of my cords going from each of my chain 7 spaces. And I'll show you how we're going to tie them together at the top. Okay, so I have just finished all of my Romanian cords for each chain 7 space. Now I still need to weave in my ends for each one, but when we tie them together, what we want to make sure the most is that they're all the same length. So put them all together at the bottom and then move all the way to the top. Oops. We want to give them a good tug and stretch them out where they're supposed to be. Okay? And we're just going to tie a knot together at the top. That's it. We're going to tie a nice knot. Now you can, of course, tie this together whichever way you want or whatever way you feel is going to be the most secure for you, whatever is your preference. All right. And now, all I'm going to do is tie another knot just to make sure that it's secure. Now I have some of my tails here that are a little bit short, and that's okay. I'm just going to snip those off. And then what I'm going to do is tie another knot. Just like that, almost like a slip knot, but leaving a loop. And that's it. Now we're going to take our tail and we're really just going to tie several knots at the bottom to secure our tail so that it doesn't slip. Tightly. You can do as many as you want. You can do this another way too, is I did this in each separate one and then just hung them like together. So I had 3 of the exact same thing that I'm doing here. But I did find that just doing them together was a little bit more helpful. Okay, so you'll do that to make it secure, and then you have this one loop that's going to hold all the rest of them. And then of course you'll weave in all of your ends. Make sure this is secure. You could either weave in your ends or just snip your tails after it's secure, of course. You don't want to do that before it's secure enough for you, depending on how heavy your plant is and how much weight is going to be on this. Is going to be really more dependent on how secure you need to get your end. Okay. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching Jolie Knots Crochet. Again, I'm Crystal. You can find me under Jolie Knots Crochet on Instagram or Facebook under Jolie Knots Crochet. Go ahead and join the Jolie Knots Crochet community on Facebook and show us what you've created. The written pattern will be linked in the description box below for this Charlotte's Web plant hanger. Thank you for watching.